Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harpin on Rugby preview show for our YouTube channel. Please don't be shy when it comes to liking, sharing, and subscribing if you can. Now, we have a slightly different preview show this week. I won't be able to record after the Leinster team is named on Friday at lunchtime. So as I speak, it's actually Thursday evening, but thankfully, KEEGO can talk after the team is named, which means I get to do some more time travel. And without knowing the two lineups, I'm going to set things up for you with some details. Then I'm going to hand over to my good friend Neil KEEGO Keegan, making his 112th pod appearance, and he'll share his thoughts on the lineup and give you his prediction. After which, we'll go back in time to me again, where I'll wrap things up, letting you know what else is on this weekend. Right, so let's crack on, shall we? Our feature match of the week is, of course, Vodacom Bulls v Leinster in round 13 of the 24-25 BKT United Rugby Championship. It's taking place at Loftus Versfeld Stadium in Pretoria on Saturday, March 22nd, kicking off at 3 p.m. Irish time with TV coverage on RTE2, Premier Sports 1, and URC.tv. The teams will be, forgot the time travel. The teams were named at lunchtime on Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be right there in the screen, or if you're tuning in to the podcast version, it's in the program notes. And now, with the help of a fancy transition wipe, I'll hand you over to KEEGO. Take it away, man.
How are we, guys? KEEGO here on assignment up north in Ulster. That's where I am at the moment. I'm in a bedroom in between two deer's bottoms, as you can see there in the background. But yeah, we don't rest, do we? Back to rugby, back to the blue jersey this time. And the lads are off in South Africa and they're playing the Bulls. It's going to be a tricky one. I think it's all between the ears now, and the squad they've picked to go, sorry, my pink t-shirt here. Squad they've picked to go is going to be interesting. So we've got, I've taken a few notes here. We've got Andrew Osborne in there beside Barrett. Great to see him. Barrett back on the pitch. They're going to learn from playing with him. Same with Diarmuid Mangan in there beside Snyman. This is kind of building up. What does Jamie Heaslip call it? Rugby IP is being passed on here, so we can use that in the business end of the season. The Bulls aren't there to mess around. We've got a 6-2 bench. I just don't like 6-2 benches. I don't like 7-1 benches. That should be outlawed. Separate story. It just takes a little bit of time to recover from the tournament that shall not be named. The Voldemort of rugby tournaments previously. So I'm picking Leinster to win by a small score, 5 points at most. It's going to be very, very tough. The Bulls picked their biggest team, their strongest team. They're going to do what they're going to do. So yeah, Leinster by one score. I haven't looked at any other games that's coming up this weekend. Just watch Connacht. That's pretty much it. Watch Connacht, watch Leinster. It's very tough for Leinster because, as you know, most of the Irish team is made up of Leinster players. And I understand that Munster supporters and Munster teams wouldn't know anything about that. So yeah, it's tough for them to feel our pain. But sure, it's not a KEEGO spot on the show without rolling up some Munster supporters. And sure, maybe you'll get a few supporters in your stadium this weekend. But no, Leinster by 5. And yeah, that's about it for the weekend. In terms of what I'm doing, the Dot Theatre next Friday the 28th, and then the Mill Theatre on Saturday the 29th. So pop along, 2 great spots. There'll be a free drink for you if you go to the Dot Theatre. Can't give you a free drink in the Mill Theatre because it's very expensive. But you can go and get your own food beforehand and then pop in and see us. So it's going to be great. And yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for that, KEEGO. We should have things back to normal next week where we can chat at the same time once again. Okay, now for a few more details about the match. The referee will be Mr. Ben Whitehouse from Wales with a Welsh TMO and South African assistance. As for the weather for Pretoria on Saturday afternoon, well, the summary I have is mostly cloudy with a thunderstorm in spots, little or no wind, 40% chance of rain, and an absolutely ridiculous temperature of 29 degrees Celsius. Oof. Now, this is the time where we usually look at the other matches in the URC this weekend. But first, let's have a quick look at the table after 12 rounds. As you can see, Leinster have that 13-point cushion at the top. But if our South African tour goes the way they have before, that can disappear pretty quickly, especially when you consider we still have to play all of the teams currently in the top 4. I'm not sure, though, we'll get a whole lot of sympathy from the fans around the league because the vast majority of them are still in with a decent shot of making the final 8. Of the 16 clubs in the URC, only the Dragons are out of sight. From Lions in 8th to Zebra in 15th, there's just 4 points. And from Munster in 5th to Connacht in 9th, there are also just 4 points. All of which means pretty much every match has a lot at stake, with possibly Glasgow v Munster on Friday night being the highlight. Will our southern cousins do us a favour, or will their own playoff chances take a knock at Scotsdown? We'll just have to see. Anyway, also this weekend, we mustn't forget the Irish women's team. It's a massive year for them coming up, and they kick off their Six Nations campaign at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday up at the Kingspan Stadium against France. Hopefully they fare better than the men did a few weeks ago. Anyway, if you can't make it to Belfast, be sure and follow the action. All the matches are live on the telly. And like I've been saying for the past while, you simply have to subscribe to Mother Rucker's The Irish Women's Rugby Podcast, where Ailva and Keno will give you all the updates, interviews, and stats you need to follow the tournament. Okay, I suppose we're going to leave it there. I could offer a prediction myself, even though I don't know the team. Look, I'm really hoping we field the strongest possible 23. And if we do, we've every chance of winning, though it should be tight. We'll need to be fully on point defensively for the full 80 minutes in both matches on the trip. But for what it's worth, I'll go for a Leinster win by less than a score. Thanks to KEEGO again, and of course, thanks to you for tuning into our preview. Apologies again for the altered format. Please do leave your thoughts on our Facebook page after the full-time whistle, and we should be back to normal with our Rap Pod recording on Sunday evening. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.